Hello dear friends, the topic for today is gravity, space and technology. Now children, when we talk about gravity, we know that all the heavenly bodies exert some or the other force of attraction or a pull on one another. Now when we talk about the sun exerts a gravitational pull on all the planets. Whereas the tendency of the planets is to move away from the sun. Now, we know that a planet keeps revolving around the sun at a fixed distance which is called as the orbit. Now, when we talk about satellites even, these satellites revolve around their planets. For example, moon is the satellite of Earth. So, it keeps revolving around the Earth, right? So, here you can see how the moon keeps revolving around the Earth. Now let's talk about the space. Space is simply the emptiness that is present between and beyond the stars and planets. It is called as space or outer space. And do you know children that space is simply the zone which is above and around our planet? And this is the zone where there is no air to breathe nor to scatter light. In fact, the space is so huge and so large that its end is not even known till now. Now, in order to reach the space, we generally make use of a rocket, right? Now, what is a rocket? We generally make use of rocket during festive occasions, right? And this rocket is actually packed with some explosive substances. So, when you simply ignite the rocket, what happens is, it rises up in the sky and just bursts off into dazzling colors, right? But when we talk about the space shuttle or the rocket which is actually sent into the space, it is also lit up using some fuel which goes into the space, right? And then we can explore the space. So when we talk about these satellites are sent into the space, right? For many different purposes, like for forecasting the weather, right, for having a track about the land movements, okay, the sea currents, the ocean currents, right. So these satellites not only help in providing some useful information, they are also used for communication purpose. Now let's talk about astronauts. So children, who are astronauts? Can you guess? Astronauts are simply scientists who travel in the spacecraft. And they travel in the spacecraft for some specific mission or purpose. Now let's talk about some man-made satellites. When we talk about moon is a natural satellite of the Earth, and man-made satellites are satellites which are made by human beings and it is sent into the space for gathering some useful information. Information relating to weather, right, relating to environment, or for searching water and mineral wealth on the Earth, or for some agricultural purposes. In fact, satellites are also used for telecommunication purposes. Now let's talk about the Chandrayaan. Chandrayaan is one of the most important missions of India. ISRO had launched a spacecraft to the moon on 22nd of October 2008, which is called as the Chandrayaan. And what about the Mangalyaan? It was launched on 5th November 2013 to the planet Mars in order to have a deeper study of the moon and the Mars. Now, let's quickly recall whatever we have discussed in today's session. So, we spoke about gravity, which is simply a force of attraction which exists between the planets, right? Then we spoke about space, which is simply the emptiness which is present between and beyond the stars and planets. And we spoke about man-made satellites which are used for gathering information. And we spoke about astronauts which are sent into the space for some mission. Now let us see whether you can answer this. So you need to pick the correct words for the pictures given below. So these are the words and these are the pictures. So the first one indicates, yes, the solar system. Excellent. What about the second one? What does it indicate? It indicates a rocket. And the third one? What does it indicate? Yes, it indicates space. Very good. You've done it correctly. That is all for today's session. Thank you and happy learning.